In this chapter, we're going to talk about a new way of identifying locations on the points in a plane. We've been doing rectangular coordinates, and now we're going to do polar coordinates. So to review, we've always been identifying points with x and y, and a point is a location on a plane. We can go over one, up one. Well, we can get to the same location by going out radical 2 and rotating 45 degrees. And you can see the connection here with the 45-45 triangle. If we have a hypotenuse of 1, then if we have a hypotenuse of radical 2, then we have legs of 1. So the radius is radical 2. If you go out radical 2 and then rotate 45 degrees, we would have the x value of 1, y value of 1, but the hypotenuse would have to be radical 2. So these are called polar coordinates with a radius and theta. Also remember that when we rotate this way, counterclockwise, that's positive rotation. When we rotate clockwise, no matter where you start, that's negative rotation, so we'll have to deal with that when we graph points. I think we can fit these in. Before we do this, let's review where all the angles are. So remember, we can have .45s, and this is 45, 90, 135, 180, 225. We can also count in radians: pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4. And here we have 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. We can also count in radians: pi over 6, pi over 3, pi over 2, 2 pi over 3, 5 pi over 6. So we have to make sure we remember those. And it'll be helpful if when you look at this, you know that it's a multiple of 45. That's a multiple of 30, a multiple of pi over 6, and a multiple of pi over 6, because then you can draw the graph. And we want to draw 45-degree angles. And we need to go out a length of 1. And let's do a dotted circle, and that will show us where to go on with a radius of 1. So if the radius is 1 and then rotate 135, we're going to go out 1 and then rotate 45 plus 45 plus 45, and that's where it's going to be. So we could think of from the center we go out and then rotate, and that's the location. Alright, pause the video and try that one. We're going to go out 2 and rotate negative 120. Go out 2, rotate negative 120. So we have to go out to 2 and then rotate 30, 60, 90, negative 30, negative 60, negative 90, negative 120. That's where the point will be. And we think of going out to 2 and rotate negative 120. All right. So we have pi over 6, and that means we need these again. Let's have a radius of 1 because we have to, or actually we'll go out to 2 so that we can see where 1.5 is. And we have to go negative 1.5. Well, that's going to be over here, negative 1.5. And then we rotate negatively. Negative rotation is clockwise. We don't want to think that negative always means down. If you're over here, clockwise would be down, but if you're over here, clockwise is up. So negative rotation is clockwise, and we're starting from negative 1.5, and then rotating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pi over 6. So we could say we went out this way, and then we rotated there. You can also do this. You can rotate from here and then reflect, and you'll end up in the same place. Pause the video and try that one. And we have pi over 6. So we have to go out to negative 2.5. Negative 2.5 is there. Rotate positively 11 pi over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pi over 6. So we went to negative radius, rotate positively, and end right there. Here's another type of question where we have an angle greater than 180, and we need to rewrite this with an angle less between 0 and 180. And let's just call this 3. And we just have to, if we do it graphically, we're starting at -3 and rotating 960 positively. So if we start at -3 and we go positive rotation, 360 plus 360 is 720. 720 plus 180 is 900, so that's 900 there, and then we'll go up to 60. And then we could see that that's 60, and we can give different coordinates to this, which would be positive 360 degrees. So if you want to just count by 360 until you get close to 960, that's one way to do it. And you can do it with a graph. Pause the video and try that one. So we're going to go to positive 2 radius and then rotate negative 480. That means we're rotating clockwise. So 480, if we go all the way around, that's 360. And then how much further do we have to go to get to 480? Well, 360 plus 90, that would be 450. And we need to go to 480, so that's 30 more degrees. So if this is 30 degrees beyond 450, then we know that's a 60-degree angle, and we can then describe this location. And we could describe this as -2, positive 60. And since we cannot have an angle greater than 180, then we have to go -2, positive 60. Another option would be positive 2 and then 240, but 240 is too big, so that's how we have to label that. Okay, we'll do the same thing with same instructions. Find polar coordinates where the angle is between 0 and pi. Alright, and we're starting at 2, rotating positively, 23 pi over 3. And every time we go around, that's 6 pi over 3. So if we start here, go around once, that's 6 pi over 3. If we go around twice, that is 12 pi over 3. And you can find a shortcut. It's going to go 12 18, 24. So if we keep going around 24 pi over 3, we know it's going to be there. We don't want to be at 24 pi over 3. We want 23 pi over 3. So that means we must have to stop pi over 3 short of that axis. And that means we need to be out here. One way to write this would be, let's go to 2 and rotate 5 pi over 3. Because if this is 60, then we've gone 5 pi over 3 around. This is not satisfying the requirements though, because that's greater than pi. So we could change this to be -2 and then rotate 2 pi over 3. If we start at -2 and then rotate 2 pi over 3, we'll end up right there. And pause the video, try that one. Okay, so we're starting at -1 and rotating negatively, so that's clockwise. Start at -1. If we go all the way around, that is 8 pi over 4. -8 pi over 4. Starting there and going around is 2 pi, so that means 8 pi over 4. Let's go around again and we'll be at -16 pi over 4. We need to be at -17 pi over 4. That means we have to keep going to this. So if we count it all the way around, that's -16 pi over 4, and that's -17 pi over 4. So then we have to describe this location using an angle between 0 and pi, which would mean we need to use this angle, which is 3 pi over 4. Yeah. So we're going to go 1, 3 pi over 4. All right. Here's a different type of question. You're doing something similar to what we just did. And let's start by graphing that, and then we just have to describe different ways of getting there. We can rotate a different direction, and we can also start at a positive radius. We're counting by thirds, so why don't we label 6 and we'll just deal with the radius of 5. So the given point is -5, and then we're going to rotate positively 4 pi over 3, or 8 pi over 6. So we're starting at negative 5 and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the location, and then we just have to describe different ways of getting there. One way is we could start at 5 and rotate pi over 3. So let's just do this. If we have the circle, we can start at 5 and rotate pi over 3. Alright. We can start at 5 and rotate negatively to negative 5 pi over 3. Start at 5 and rotate the other direction. Start at 5 and rotate negative 5 pi over 3. So we've used 2 points that both have a positive radius. Well, let's use one more point with a negative radius, and that means we would start at negative 5 and rotate 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4 pi over 6. So if we started at negative 5 and we have to rotate up there, we're going to start at negative 5 and rotate negative 4 pi over 6, or negative 5 and negative 2 pi over 3. So that's how we would write the answer. Alright, and pause the video and try that one. Alright, this says start at negative 2 and rotate negatively, so that's rotating this way, 7 pi over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is where the original, that's where the point is, and that's the original way of getting there. Then we have to describe it 3 different ways. So we could also start at a negative, but then rotate this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be a positive 5 pi over 6. That would look like this. We're starting at negative 2 and rotating this way. So we're rotating that way. We can start over here at positive 2 and go negative pi over 6, positive 2, negative pi over 6. And we can also start at positive 2 and go 11 pi over 6, positive 2, 11 pi over 6. So if you start at 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, ends right there. Or we could start at 2 and go negative 1. Or we could start at negative 2 and move positively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's how we got that one. And that's the end of this video.